welcome back to the vlog. Today I am gonna do a study with me, show you guys a little bit behind the scenes of my morning routine. I love getting up bright and early, making me a nice hot coffee that doesn't break my fast. That's very important. I don't use a lot of creamer and sugar. And then we'll head into my office where I have my desk. Sometimes I'll study at a desk or I'll study on the floor, or I'll even go on the treadmill and drink my coffee and read my Bible. It just depends on what I'm feeling, what I need to get done that day. Today's a very slow day. I have a lot in store, so I'm gonna be doing my monthly reset as well as my yearly reset, so I'll probably create a whole nother video on that. But I wanna just give you guys a little sneak peek behind what I've been doing since I've been living in this house. I've created a really good morning routine, and it's really just filling my cup before I start my day, and that helps set the intentions for the morning. My Bible studies have been all different, from studying the actual Bible, from studying certain books, from doing certain read a Bible in a year group assignments. So it just depends. Currently I'm doing Bible in a year, so it's basically the Old Testament and the New Testament in one. And this is something that my grandma used when I lived with her. She would study her Bible, drink her coffee after her sisters left, and she would read her Bible. And so when I found it, I started reading. I really enjoy it because it gives you a little bit of the wisdom, and then of the New Testament, Old Testament, and it has Proverbs and Poems at the end. So it's not really a study, but it's more of reading about the Bible. And then I always think about how that impacts my life. What are my bigger takeaways? Where do I see Jesus in the scripture? I've also done the Bible recap a few times, and that one's really good too. It's almost reading 3 chapters a day, so you really have to have a little bit more time in the morning. And this one, I find it's pretty easy because I could read it within 15 minutes maybe. Sometimes I can spend longer depending if I want to go down the rabbit hole and deep dive into the different chapters. This year I'm thinking what I want to do, if I want to just maybe go back to She Reads Truth Bible and read the actual books, and then go through and find sermons online and do more in-depth studies. I haven't decided yet, so comment below, let me know what you guys are going to be studying this year. Do you do it based on what your church is doing? Do you do it based on what your life is? Do you even study the Bible? Do you just read it like a book from front to back? Because that's how I used to do it. The main thing is that I know every day I need to have some connection with my higher power. So I will either listen to a podcast, or I'll listen to an audiobook, or definitely read my Bible. So as you see back here, I have this little daily devotion card, and this is always good too. So I make my coffee, I'll change it out, and it basically just gives me like a scripture of a Bible. It's summarized really briefly, and so I love that because it kind of creates that intention. Also, my husband can read it too. I'm gonna make my coffee, and then we're gonna get started. Okay, so as you guys realize that I finished reading, this is the Bible that I read. I finished reading this probably in less than 15 minutes. So I know it's not always about what I can read. And I know Bible study is not just about getting the check mark, but I am very goal oriented. And in the morning, if you do have a time crunch, most of you probably have kids, you got to get to work. So I understand that. And I think that if you can just set your timer to do between 10 to 15 minutes just to get in the word, you're going to get some kind of wisdom. Sometimes I'm reading the same stuff and I'm like, I already read this. I already know what this is talking about. I already heard this story. It's kind of when your grandma or grandpa is telling you a story, you're like, that sounds nice. You're being respectful. You're listening, but you already know the outcome. You already know the story. So that is a good thing about the Bible. But what I try to do is really have an open mind and see, well, how does this fit into my life? Where is God speaking to me? What do I need to gain from this? So today we read, like I said, I finished up a little bit early. I already had stuff highlighted from previous years. When I see something highlighted, I'm like, why did I highlight that? I will always wonder what I've been trying to do. In this Bible, there's no room for margin. So she reads Truth Bible, and I have another Bible that has margin space. I try to write, why did that stand out to me? And sometimes it just depends on the moment. Maybe it's a lesson that I need to learn. Maybe it's what I'm going through. I don't really know. So this one that I was reading on Revelations, he's talking about, you cheated on me, he said. It says, so he's talking to God, and he's like, what do you mean I cheated on you? And he's like, you have cheated me of the tithes, your offerings due to me. You are under a curse, for your whole nation has been cheating on me. So basically he's talking about how the crops and his finest crops, he wasn't giving God the first of it. And this is something that people don't really want to hear, because we all work, and yes, we work hard for our money. We work per hour, and we want to know that we're worthy of it. But at the same time, if you think about it, if you wouldn't have a job, blessing, or skills or talents if it wasn't for God. So I do believe in tithing. I do contribute. And so I think at that time, maybe I wasn't doing it, or maybe I wasn't giving the first 10%. But I have created where I do be intentional of my giving, whether it's to the church or to maybe a woman that needs it or to a family. I do want to be somebody that's a giving person. In the past, I didn't have money. I couldn't give. I remember there was this time in church, and it was after Bible study on a midweek. It was a Christian church. And I remember that I didn't have money to pay for, I think it was gas. I had an old Toyota, and it's coming to me right now. And I remember this lady. She was a really nice older lady. And I remember she said, honey, I feel like God is speaking to me. And I was like, and she's like, I don't know you, but I want to bless you with something, and I hope this helps. And she gave me the exact money that I needed. And I was like, whoa, I started crying. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't have anybody to ask. My family doesn't come from a wealthy background. I don't have anyone that I could be like, hey, can I borrow some money, or can I give me a loan? I didn't have that. And so when this lady came to me and did that, and I was just like, wow. So always that story sticks with me. And I was a newer Christian. I was newer studying. Like I said, I grew up in the church, so I know of the word, but I think my struggle was but that's just a story. I live in real life. This is real life. So there's always things that are going to intertwine between hood and our life and the Bible. And so I do believe in that. And I think that it's good to read this, because this is a good reminder of how we should be living with each other, amongst each other, in community and friendships. This type of Bible is that they do highlight or italic and bold the most important, or maybe the most popular, I guess, scriptures. This one is written in the New Living Translation. So the New Living Translation, I like that one, or the Christian Standard is the one I like because I can understand it. But there's so many different versions of the Bible, but I just don't get Old English and the old ones, but whatever. So the last thing that I read was Proverbs 31, verses 25 to 31. This is such a popular, trendy woman's Bible study. So I did a study or a challenge. It was Proverbs 31 challenge. And basically there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. So you can take each chapter a day, read it, study on it, meditate on it. Proverbs is more of the wisdom of the Bible. So if you want to gain wisdom, I read it and this is what it says. It says, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs with no fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and kindness is the rule when she is given instructions. She carefully watches all that goes on in her household and does not have to bear the consequences of laziness. Her children stand and bless her. I underlined that one. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous, capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last. A woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. So, this one gives me chills. So I think this is a really great one for a woman who's younger to marriage. I studied Proverbs 31. I did a whole, like I said, I did the challenge. And then I actually went in depth and studied this one about the different women in the Bible, of how God made them virtuous, made them wise, gave them this, they came from struggles and they came this woman. And I think that this relates to me because, like I said, I didn't come from a great, perfect background. I don't think any of us have, but there was a lot that was holding me back. I'm not worthy of this. I'm not deserving of this. And so I had a lot of self-talk and a lot of devil talk. And it was hard for me to overcome that I did deserve this life that God wanted for me. And so if you're somebody who's newer to marriage or newer to a relationship, this also gives you that wisdom to know how to hold your tongue back, because there's things that we say and do that we regret because it's that time of the month and we're cranky and crabby. And I think that we have to understand our bodies, take the time to really decompress and be like, oh, maybe I need to just take away and not take this out on my family. It's really not them. It's just me and what I'm going through in my body. And I think that this hits home because it talks about giving that kindness, that wisdom to your family, to your friends, and also understanding that beauty is not something that you can just buy and get. And it's going to be, basically, it's deceiving. Beauty is, what's it saying? The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So you may think you look beautiful, but it just depends on how you see yourself. And so I think that's one thing that I really want to stay true to. I know in my era, my age group, a lot of women are for that fast, quick fix. And it's really sad that I see what they're doing to achieve that. But at the same time, it's them. So I pray for them to get that wisdom and understanding, but also how we represent ourselves, how we dress, how we talk, how we speak, how we treat one another. And the other thing that I like that it touched on is building your household. I never thought I would own a house. And my mom had a house when she had her first marriage and we lived in it, and she took pride in it. She made it a home. She always had the doors open. She had my brother's friends over. We had the necessities, but we lost that house. And so she rented for years, her and my dad, and I think they still rent till now, but I never thought I would have a home. And when I got a home, I was like, I don't want a home. This is a lot of work. I didn't sign up to be this housewife, and I would dread washing the dishes. I would dread cleaning. I was so used to living in my own room, having my own space, having roommates, and we all pitched in. And when I got my home, I was like, whoa, this is big girl stuff. I don't like this. And I had a lot of arguments with my husband because it was like, he wanted to come to a clean home and we both work. And so now these days you need 2 incomes to have a house. And so it's a lot of responsibilities and chores. And so I think that it talks about not bearing the consequences of being lazy when you do have that day off. Just try to be mindful of how can you impact this home that God has blessed you with. You could be living in an apartment if you wanted to, but God has blessed you with a home. So take pride in it, clean it, make sure you stay organized. And I think that really, when I did the studies back then, like I said, when I first got my home, I had to really change my mindset about being a homeowner and being a wife. I was a wife once before, and I don't talk about it much. We rented a room, so it was different. And I just think that this is a really great verse to meditate on, to study, to break it down line by line, to see how you can be a virtuous woman, see how you can take pride in what you say, what you do, who you are. So that's something that when I read something, I really try to take it and break it down. And this one just really hit home. I know in my past Bible studies with me, I never really talk with you guys about it. I just show you guys the back end. I think you guys enjoy that as well. But I just thought today I would want to share that with you. It's on my heart. And I really appreciate you guys being here. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe and follow. And let me know what you guys are going to be studying for the new year. Did you guys study anything this year? Did you guys dabble in it? What are some of your favorite resources? There's so much Bible resources. Like, it could be overwhelming. I did have to tell myself that I wasn't going to buy any more Bibles because I really have this guy. I have my She Reads Truth Bible, and I have one more Bible, and that's it. I'm not becoming a Bible hoarder. I'm trying to become a minimalist. So this is not, so we have on my iPad, She Reads Truth has a subscription. The app, you can actually get the digital catalog, so you don't have to buy them, but when you buy the subscription, I think it's like $2.99, you get the digital catalog. So these are all the catalogs here. And you guys done a couple with me. We've done a couple already together, I think, on this channel, like back then. So there are times that I will dabble in this. This is like with the community reading. So we were finishing Advent. So I'm reading that one as well. So there's times that you can read a couple just because they are smaller little chapters. But the one they're going to start in January is going to be Acts. And then they're also going to do the one in February. It's called Bless the Lord. When you subscribe, you say, I'm a member, and I love all of their resources, highlighters, their Bibles. My resources are always on my like to know it page or my shop my page. So if you guys ever wonder, like, I have most of the stuff that I have it already on there. And like I told you, like, not someone that I used to be somebody that would switch things up so constantly that I couldn't keep up with myself. But now I'm more like, you know what? I love routine, simplicity, the same stuff over and over. Like, I don't know, I think I had so much of that in my past that I'm just like, next decade, I am just honing down simplicity, minimalist, basics, and that's what I love. So I'm gonna wrap this YouTube up because I want to make it its own little study with me. And I'm sorry for the jump scare, but I really do love you guys, appreciate you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. So bye.